Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today we have a gorgeous card that we are going to put together in my most favourite way to apply foil. Now, this is just such an easy way, no laminators, no machines, no nothing. We are going to use this Deco foil here. This is the foam adhesive one. Now, I just want to preface this whole thing by saying you can use double-sided adhesive sheets if you like. It's going to work very similar. These are essentially double-sided foam sheets. Now, the foam is, I think, 1 or 1.5 millimeters thick, so it's not super thick, which I actually love. That means it kind of doesn't catch on things, just a really good height. Now, there are 2 6x12 sheets in this pack, which gives you a lot of die cutting. Now, I do realize that you could also add some double-sided sheets to a piece of foam, and I have tried that. I have medium success with it being good results and wrinkle-free and all the good things. And so for the price of this product, I usually just buy it when it's on sale, and really, really handy. But as I said, double-sided sheets do the exact same things without the dimension, and then you can also DIY it. Now, I'm going to start off this card by adding in a little bit of shading. I'm using some Gina K Masking Magic strips. These are just Masking Magic sheets that come pre-cut into different size strips. There's a whole lot of different sizes in the packet, but any masking tape, some mint tape, anything is going to be great here, even some post-it notes. I'm using some Spun Sugar Distress Oxide ink just to add in some this creates like a faux border. Now, I will say it is really, really hard to see this pretty much after I apply it and the gold sort of takes over. In person, I can see it really well. On camera, it really doesn't show up. And that just is what it is. Sometimes things on camera, because of lighting and depending on the sunlight and all the natural light and things that are affecting my workspace, it can be tricky. But I do my best, and this is what we've got. So just know that it's there. And I'm going to just do a really light layer of pink. Now, I'm sorry the camera is trying to focus here. It's because it's trying to search for what to focus on. So this will stop in just a second, I promise. I'm just doing a really light little bit of ink blending in towards the center, and this is really good when you kind of want the faux frame look and you're trying to create a focal point. Now, I am going to add on all of the elements before I get to the foiling part, because that way I just know where everything is laid out and where exactly I can put the foil down, because once you put it down, it's pretty much there. So I'm going to use the Waffle Flower Birthday Wishes. These are just a whole lot of different ways of saying happy birthday. As I've mentioned before, this is one of my most popular my most popular sentiments that I use and what people tend to grab for, and so I just make a really wide range. So having a good few birthday sentiments is handy. I stamped this in some VersaFine Onyx black ink, and then this is the die that I'm going to use for my foiling. This is a Christmas branch from A Pocketful of Happiness. I will just say, this is my most favorite die at the moment. Now, I pressed record and I recorded all of this, and somehow I actually didn't press record. So what has happened is I have die cut out all of these branches. I die cut out several of them from that foam adhesive, the Deco foil foam adhesive, even bits that are partial, like if I can't get it the entire die, I still do little bits and pieces, and we're actually going to use those as well, just because I want to make the most of the product that I have purchased. Now, as I said, I did record this, but apparently I didn't. I have taken off one side of the release paper and popped down these branches. Now, they're all still hanging off the edge. I need to tidy them up, and they still have the release paper on top of them. So there's nothing sticky exposed at the moment, and I am just going to trim off all those little pieces nice and neat and even with my little Cutterbee scissors. And then this is where you can use your foil. Now, there are different types of foil out there, I will tell you. There's kind of the ones that are used for hot foiling and the better press and things like that. And then these ones are just used with like regular foiling. So some of my favorite brands are the Tonic one on the right here and the Deco foil on the left. These are kind of the two brands I go for. The one on the right is a little bit cheaper and I really like that one. And then the Deco foil one, there is a lot of product in each one, and so those are good too. They come on a roll like this, and as I said, the Deco foil sheets are slightly wider, and so that might work for a project, but honestly it doesn't matter if you have little bits of foil that you would like to, you can just do it in different places, pick it up and put it down again. Now, again, before I realized I wasn't recording, I had cut 2 of the pieces off this roll, and this is as simple as it is. All you do is peel off the release paper, pop your foil down on top, give it a gentle press. You don't have to go to town here. You don't have to get out your bone folder. You don't have to, put all your heaving weight like you're kneading some bread. It's just a really gentle little push down. Make sure you get each one of the spots, and then you're able to just peel your foil back and admire your gorgeous easy peasy foiling, because as I said, this has got to be the easiest way to apply foil. And I know that there are lots of fabulous machines out there. I don't disagree that they are wonderful and they do great things. I don't own any of them. I don't have the space for them, and usually I don't have the budget for them either. And so this is just a great way for me to achieve those beautiful foiling looks. And I want you to know that you don't also have to have all the bits and pieces, that actually there are some great ways out there that we can create beautiful looks. And this will look just as good if you are using some double-sided adhesive sheets. I tend to go for the thicker ones when I am die cutting them like this, rather than the really thin ones like the stick-it adhesive. I would not use for this technique. I know these scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive sheets are thicker, and those would work perfect for this. Now, we've made one birthday card, and just because of the time of year, I am going to make a Christmas card too. I have some candied apple red Distress Oxide ink here, and I am going to take the top of a card. This is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch side fold card, but I'm just going to turn it around so that it is now horizontal, and we are going to have the fold at the top. I sort of start off with a light blend and then come in a little bit heavier with the ink at the top. I quite like the ink behind some of the foiling. It just adds another element to the card as well. But this one here, we are going to use all of those scraps that I die cut where the whole die didn't quite fit on the foam adhesive sheet, but there's no way I'm wasting any of that. So I just cut all of these partial pieces, and we're going to fill them up. I'm having a bit of a play around with where everything is going to fit. I can snip apart some of the branches. You peel off the backing of the release paper and then stick these down. As I said, I'm going to make them sort of go all the way across the top. Now, I have a couple of those foils from Tonic. I have a red and a gold, and at this point, I thought I was going to do all completely red, but then a little bit of gold in there would look gorgeous too, so I wasn't sure. But what I do know is that I want a gorgeous sentiment to go in there. As you know, I don't purchase too many Christmas sentiments or anything, stamp sets or Santas. In fact, I haven't even purchased a Santa this year. I was intending to, and it's getting a little bit late, but I do purchase a stamp set or two just to keep the stash fresh for the year and keep my inspiration alive. And this is one of the ones I picked up. This is from scrapbook.com. They often have really, really good sales on their branded product, 40 to 50% off, sometimes even 60. And so this is the Big and Bold Christmas. And I like this because these sentiments are bold. They definitely, they take up a space and they sort of command a bit of a presence on the front. And so I like that. I'm going to use my anti-static powder bag down first. Then use the embossing ink on my stamp and stamp it down, and then I'm going to do some gold embossing powder. I think that's gold and red is going to be always gorgeous and traditional colors for Christmas. And this one I quite like because it's sort of not a wintry Christmas. Of course, we have summery Christmases here in New Zealand. It's in the middle of our summer, and so it's quite nice to not have the winter versions, although I don't mind making the winter versions at all. I love a good Santa and I love snow. I don't mind that at all, even though we have it in summer, but this one is a good one for those summer Christmases. Now, I have the gold and the red, and it's just a coincidence that these are both from the same company. It doesn't matter. As I said, the Deco foil ones are what I actually have most of my colors in, and they have lasted me years and years and years and still work just fine. So that's always good to know. I cut off a little portion of this so that I can move it around all those different branches, and then you just peel it off, pop down the red, pop down the foil, so the shiny side up, the fancy side up, because that's obviously we want the silver side to stick and be able to see the colour after that. Just give it a gentle press, a gentle little move around with your fingers, and then just lift up the foil and you've got this gorgeous easy foiling. Now if you find that something didn't foil, or you forgot, you didn't manage to put the foil in the right place, then just pop it right back down again, because it's still sticky, it's still ready to go, and just pop the foil and you won't be able to see a join or anything like that. And that's also what I appreciate with this technique. I was saving those last couple of little branches, and I had the leftovers from the previous card of that gold foil, and I thought, why not? I'll do a little bit of gold in there too. And then I want to show you a little handy dandy trick to make the most of the things that we have, and that I am going to bring out these little punches that I have. Now I have one that is, I think it's a 1/4 inch and then 1/8 of an inch maybe. Anyway, one's medium and one's sort of tiny. And actually what I'm going to do is punch out the foam adhesive, so the same that we've used for the branches, but I'm going to punch it out with these tiny little circles, and then I will have some foil little dots instead of sort of adding sequins or some nouveau drops or something like that. I'm going to do it all in the same thing, and as I said, I'm just using up the scraps. There's enough space for me to punch out a couple of little circles for the edge there, and they get caught in the wee contraption at the top, and then I just lift the lid and let them all shake out and then pop them down. Take off the release paper, and then I can just pop the gold on like that, and we've got all these little decorations all around the place. I had 2 different sizes but decided to do just the one little the one smaller size, and then I quite like that little element. Then I decided that instead of 2 little pieces of gold leaf, I wanted 3, so I just popped a couple of little excess leaves that I had cut off the first project. I popped those down the side here just so that there was a 3rd element of gold. But that is this card finished as well. I hope that you enjoyed this one, and I hope that you give this a go. Even if you just have the double-sided adhesive sheets, you absolutely can make both of these cards, and they just will have not quite the dimension that this foam has, but will look stunning as well. As always, it's about using what we have. If you'd like to see the supply list, it'll be linked down below. But other than that, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks, bye.